We will hear from two witnesses, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford and Judge Kavanaugh. Both Dr. Ford and Judge Kavanaugh have been through a terrible...
She's sitting up very straight. She's taking hard swallows, and she keeps scanning the room quickly. She's got her head held high. So it contradicts the scanning and the nervous look, which should tell you at that point that it's an act.
Every step of the way, the Democratic side refused to participate in what should have been a bipartisan investigation. And as far as I know, on all of our judgeships throughout at least the last 4 years or 3 years, that's been the way it's been handled. After Dr. Ford's identity became public,
I keep seeing her do it. She keeps opening her mouth and closing it, opening her mouth and closing it. When I see that, I instantly think something's wrong mentally. There's something neurologically wrong with her. What it is or how bad it is, I have no idea. I can just tell you, when I see that from someone, I mentally think there's something wrong with you. Because that's not normal behavior, especially since it's coming off subconsciously.
My staff contacted all the individuals she said attended the 1982 party described in the Washington Post article. Judge Kavanaugh immediately submitted to an interview under penalty of felony for any knowingly false statements. He denied the allegations categorically. Democratic staff was invited to participate and could have asked any questions they wanted to, but they declined, which leads me then to wonder, if they're really concerned with going to the truth, why wouldn't you want to talk to the accused? The process and procedure is what the committee always does when we receive allegations of wrongdoing. My staff reached out to other individuals allegedly at the party, Mark Judge, Patrick Smith, Leland Kaiser. All three submitted statements to the Senate under penalty of felony, denying any knowledge of the events described by Dr. Ford. Dr. Ford's lifelong friend, Ms. Kaiser, stated she doesn't know Judge Kavanaugh and doesn't recall ever attending a party with him. My staff made repeated requests to interview Dr. Ford during the past 11 days, even volunteering to fly to California to take her testimony. But her attorneys refused to present her allegations to Congress. I nevertheless honored her request for a public hearing. So
he's reading the statement out, and he talks about the other people writing statements, and then her best friend writing a statement, lifelong friend, says it never happened. And she gives a nod and a positive and continues to go. And then he brings up the attorneys, flying her, getting this, so it was a formal way of doing things, someone to interview her. And she just looks over there. Nothing surprising, nothing, oh, I didn't know that. And this is important for later because I already watched this whole hearing. Because at the very end, and we're going to skip to that.
Did anybody ever advise you from Senator Feinstein's office or from Representative Eshu's office to go get a forensic interview?
No.
So should we see her there? She thinks, goes through memory. No.
Instead, you were advised to get an attorney.
And she's going stiff because the rest of this time at this supposed hearing, she's got pretty pose. We'll go over pretty pose, or at least pretty pose in this later.
And take a polygraph. Is that right?
Many people advised me to get an attorney.
There's pretty pose. Head down, wrap the eyebrows, do a little wave.
Once I had an attorney, my attorney and I discussed using the polygraph.
And then we're twisting our chair because we're cute.
And instead of submitting to an interview in California, we're having a hearing here today in 5-minute increments. Is that right?
So she looked towards the committee for that question, which tells me that that answer, the true answer, came from that her attorneys weren't involved in that the true power behind where to have this at was from one of the committee members.
I agree that's what was agreed upon by the collegial group here.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Okay, I have something to submit for the...
And that made her extremely nervous, comparatively speaking, on the rest of her testimony. Because now she's gone back with her chin tucked into her neck because she knows that's bad.
Record. We received 3 statements under penalty of felony from 3 witnesses identified.
And now she's gone in defiant. I'm gonna sit up straight, head held high, throw my glasses on top of my head.
By Dr. Ford, Mark Judge, Leland Kaiser, and Patrick Smith. All 3 denied any knowledge of the incident or gathering described by Dr. Ford. Without objection, I'll enter in the record.
And then more pretty pose with the defiance.
Mr. Chairman, I have something for the record as well. A number of letters from the witness's family, friends, including her husband.
Okay. I'll get to you just as soon as the ranking member.
Mr. Chairman,
I know it softens with other letters coming up that support her. My point is she's using emotion to manipulate her testimony. Pretty pose to this more defiant look. So we see in the beginning, we're going to look real small, give a little bit of a little, I'm listening. Yeah, it's real hard. And then we see that by the end of it, the real comes out when these things are brought back up again, the letters. And it's more defiance and stress.
Proceed, please.
Thank you, Senator Grassley. I think after I read my opening statement, I anticipate needing some caffeine, if that is available.
Okay. Can you pull the...
We're going to sway back and forth. We're going to have a smaller voice than what is normal. We're going to make ourselves small, and we're doing the little pretty, it's cuteness. That's what it is, it's cuteness. I'm doing pretty pose. I'm going to use emotion to make you sympathize with me. I'm not coming off as a big scary bear or a Medusa. I'm a soft little church mouse telling you about the evil kitty outside.
I was pushed from behind into a bedroom across from the bathroom. I couldn't see who pushed me. Brett and Mark came into the bedroom and locked the door behind them. There was music playing in the bedroom. It was turned up louder by either Brett or Mark once we were in the room. I was pushed onto the bed, and Brett got on top of me. He began running his hands over my body and grinding into me. I yelled, hoping that someone downstairs might hear me, and I tried to get away from him, but his weight was heavy. Brett groped me and tried to take off my clothes. He had a hard time because he was very inebriated and because I was wearing a one-piece bathing suit underneath my clothing. I believed he was going to rape me. I tried to yell for help. When I did, Brett put his hand over my mouth to stop me from yelling. This is what terrified me the most and has had the most lasting impact on my life. It was hard for me to breathe.
Well, I'm listening to this, and she's putting her neck down into her chest so that she sounds like this, and it comes out real croaky. This is a prepared speech that later she tells you she wrote herself. No one helped her. So she's gone over this, reread it, practiced, and has really figured out how to sound kind of croaky so that it sounds like there's mucus there. And that's practice. Because if there was any mucus there, for as long as she's going on, and for as traumatic as she says this is, we should not only, one, hear it, but she should be lifting her head up to fight it from coming out. And we do not see that. We see a position that she's forcing her voice to sound as if she does, with no evidence of it. This is a manipulation tactic.
And I thought that Brett